Welcome to Daily Metal, where every day a different metal album gets dissected for your sadistic listening pleasure. I'm the heavy metal lawyer, Emma, and in this show, I'll talk about why the music in these albums is so good and where they fall in the history of music's most wretched genre. All right, I got X's on my hands. I'm summoning a hatred for all the blood mouths. I think we are ready for the album of today, June 16th, that came out in 1996, Firestorm by Earth Crisis. Street by street, block by block, taking it all back. That is the battle cry that starts the most well known release by vegan straight edge band Earth Crisis. The band is most well known, or perhaps I should say most infamous, for promoting a vegan straight edge lifestyle in the hardcore scene, including by threats of violence. Earth Crisis has never been quite at the level of straight edge belligerence as, say, the infamous straight edge crew Friends Stand United, but they did have some notoriety in the 90s and even got mainstream news coverage for having lyrics that appeared to support eco terrorism. While Earth Crisis's self-righteous attitude may be a bit overbearing, especially coming from suburban white kids from Syracuse, New York, adopting politics as a lifestyle, it's not like any of the things they sing are necessarily wrong. The song Unseen Holocaust addresses the very real past and present genocide against indigenous people, first through war and now largely through environmental devastation and corporate displacement. And the prescription in Eden's demise that only veganism can stop the all out environmental devastation is only simplifying the problem slightly. It is 100% true that meat consumption is not sustainable. But even if you can't get down with the lyrics, holy fuck, does Earth Crisis go hard. Earth Crisis sounds like a band that would play United Bloodfest today, except they were playing in 1996. That kind of hardcore that borrowed heavily from the tones and vocals of metal was not that common in hardcore music circa 1996, and definitely was not common in the straight edge and youth crew scenes. But nowadays, if you go to any Boston straight edge hardcore show, almost all the bands you will listen to sound a lot like Earth Crisis. And the tonal shift from the more punk rock bands like Minor Threat and 7 Seconds was an appropriate backdrop for the lyrics that were much darker. Sure, Ian MacKaye of Minor Threat screamed about being out of step with the world, but Carl Buchner screamed about being crucified for being straight edge. Earth Crisis has stated their darker lyrics and sound came out of bitterness of growing up with the straight edge scene, but then seeing it abandoned by so many of the bands that had advocated for it. So, do you think Earth Crisis are just total cornballs or do they make some good points? Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you like this video, please subscribe so you can find out what the metal album of the day is, why it is so brutal, and where it fits in the history of the genre.